I know you must have looked at a design at some point and asked yourself how this looks so clean and professional. Well, the secret is usually typography. In this video, we will explore how you can pick the right fonts, use the right text styles, and create visual hierarchy for your app, all while designing a simple login screen that is simple and consistent right here in Figma. Now, let's get started. So, typography is more than just picking fonts or selecting fonts. It's more about how this text communicates, hierarchy, readability, and personality in your design. So, great typography makes your design easy to scan and visually balanced because it guides your user's eyes from what's most important to what is next. Whenever you're designing, you'd want to avoid messy designs with too many fonts, and you would want to stick to a clean layout with consistent typography. So let's start font pairing. Most modern designs use two fonts, one for headings, which is bold with personality, and then one for body text, which is simple and readable. So some of the sites out there, or the best sites out there that you can find free fonts, which will be great for your designs, are number one. Here we have Google Fonts. You can easily access Google Fonts library by going to fonts.google.com, and you'd see that there are lots of free fonts that are clean and great that you can use for your designs. These fonts are also integrated in Figma, meaning you might not necessarily have to download them to your PC and install them to have access to them. You could easily just access them quickly right from your Figma. There's also Adobe Fonts, which is the Adobe Fonts library, and you can easily find huge library of fonts right here from Adobe, all on their sites. You can easily access this website by going to fonts.adobe.com, and you'd see the lots of different fonts that they have to offer. So these are some of the fonts that you can easily download and use in your designs. If you have any of the Adobe software, then you would have access to most of these fonts directly from any of those softwares, and you can use them in your designs. Now, let's explore some of the beginner-friendly font pairings that you can try. So here are a few beginner-friendly font pairings that you can try, whether in your pet project or in your actual projects. Let me know in the comments what you think about this combination, or which one you would want us to use in our next video, and we can give them a try. First off, we have Poppins and Inter. Now, these fonts are some of the most common combinations that you can possibly find out there, and it's also going to look really good in your designs. For a clean and modern look, you could try your header in Poppins bold, and then your subheader in Inter regular. The next one is Montserrat and Roboto. So this is for a professional and readable design. You could try using your header in Montserrat and then your body text in Roboto to see if you get the kind of professional and readable designs that you would want to achieve. Now the next one, which is actually one of my favorite combinations out there, is Playfair Display and Lato. This is for clean, elegant, and classy designs, mostly used for editorials. If you would want to try this, go ahead and let me know what you think. You can have your header in Playfair Display Bold and then your subheader in Lato. So one quick tip that I would want to give you is try not to mix fonts that feel too similar. For example, you have your header in Playfair Display and then you have your subheader or your second font pairing in a font that looks very similar to Playfair also, because if you do that, the fonts will clash and there would be no contrast. So what you would want to keep in mind is use a font whereby one is strong and the other is simple. That way you have contrast and balance in your designs. So now let's put all of that together and design a simple login screen using great typography. Let's create a login screen in Figma and try to apply some text styles using some of the fonts that we discussed previously. I've decided to use Playfair Display and Lato because they create a very good contrast with each other. And let's use that combination to create our text styles and then ultimately create a login screen. So first off, Figma allows you to create your text styles and save them in a way that you can reuse them all over again in your designs in such a way that even when it's time for you to make changes to this font styles, you don't have to go all over your designs making changes one after the other. You can simply apply the changes to the text style that you saved and it will automatically update across your designs. So from the properties panel over here, you can see we have variables and we have styles and then we have export. So from the option that says styles, if you click on the plus button here, the menu here shows you different options. So since we're focusing on typography, let's click on text and then we get this new pop-up that allows us to create and save our new text style. So this one is going to be named title, and for description we can write H1 because it's going to serve as our H1 text for our bold titles that go in our designs. So the font is going to be Playfair Display. The font type is going to be bold, and then the font size is going to be around 32 pixels. Now once that is done, you can click on create style and you can see here under styles we have text styles and we have this one that says title. Now let's go ahead and create another one. So beside text style, just click on the plus here to add a new text style and then we can have another one for H2. So this one is going to say sub header, and then for description we can write H2. It's still going to be Playfair Display. Then for the font type, we can stick to medium, and then for the font size, we can stick to 24 pixels, and then we create style. So we're going to create another subheader, but this time using the second font pairing that we have decided to use, which is Lato. So add the plus, and we do it all over again. So this is our subheader 2, and then it's still H2, and then the font is going to be Lato, font type medium, and then font size 24, just like we did. Create style. Now the last one is going to be our body text. So one more time we do this, and the name is going to be body. Description, we can add in regular text. Font is going to be Lato. Font type is going to be regular, and then the font size can be 16 pixels. Now you can see here we have all our text styles saved and ready to be used. So the next thing we're going to do is apply this into our designs. Together, let's use the font styles or the text styles that we have added previously and use them in a simple login screen. So I have a mobile phone frame here. What I'm going to do right now is just to create some cool designs in it. That's going to be our login details. So I have a rectangle. Let me just give it a rounded edge. And then I would change the color to something lighter, just like this. So now let's add a welcome text. Now that I've added a nice welcome text over here, I can head over here from the properties panel. You can see here beside typography, there's a little icon here that says apply styles. When you click on it, it gives you access to the styles that you've created previously. So now we're going to apply the first one, which is our title and H1 tag or H1 text to this welcome text that we have added. So just click on it and you can see the text properties change to that of what you have added to this particular font style previously. So that's all you need to do when using text styles. So let's go ahead and add the other details of our designs. Now we can try adding a simple subtext under this. Let it say login to continue. So just like I mentioned, you'd want to maintain hierarchy in your designs. So if you look at this and this is a header and this is supposed to be a subheader. So you wouldn't want to leave it in this manner because they are both competing for attention. So this is going to be our subtext, and for that we are going to apply the H2 style to it. So just click on here and you see what we have here, which is the subheader. Once I click on it, the subtext is applied to it, and then I can position it properly how I want. We could also go ahead and change the text or the text color of this into something lighter than the black that we're using for the header to maintain contrast. So I'm using a gray of which this is the color code here in case you want to use the same color code as me. Now you can see our design is gradually taking shape. So let's add a couple of input fields for this design. For that, we just draw a rectangle like this. Let's give it a rounded corner. Let's use white for the fill. And then we add some text for the inputs and then the labels. So this one is going to say email. Now this is going to be a regular body text, so you have to apply the body text to it, which is this one. Once I click on it, you can see the text changes and it updates automatically. So go ahead and add in an input in here that says enter your email. You can go ahead and change the color of this text to something lighter as well, so it doesn't compete with what we have over here, which is the label for attention. So now we select all three of this, and then I duplicate it by selecting all of them and then clicking on alternate and dragging them down below just like this. So the next one is going to be sign in. So the next one is going to be the password field. We could just change this over here to say password, and then this one is going to say enter your password, and then that's it. So the last but not the least, we add our button, which is the sign in button. So I make a copy of this rectangle over here, and then I change the color to the black that we are using, and then I add a text for it as well. So this one is going to say sign in. Now, since we have a black background for the button, we want to keep a good contrast, so the text might as well be in plain white. I drag it in and place it inside my button. I can select both of them and put them in a group by pressing the keyboard shortcut Ctrl or Command G to put them in a group. So we can also add another text here for forgot password. Position it in the middle, and then to maintain contrast, let's give it a light gray color as well. And then we can now add another text down here that says don't have an account, sign up. So guys, you can see our login screen looking nice and clean using the text styles that we have created previously. So let's say I want to go ahead and change any of these text styles. I don't have to do it manually. All I'm going to do is come to any of these text styles that I have edited here. If I should go ahead and change, or let's say I have 2 frames or 3 frames, all using the same text styles that I have created previously, and then I want to update this to be something bigger. Let's say I want it to be bigger and not this particular size that we're using. I could just come over here to where it says title, and I click on this option that says edit style, and when this menu opens, let's say I go ahead and change the font size from 32 to something like 45, and then I click on enter to save. Once I've done that, you can see the font size over here have increased automatically, and it has increased across all the instances where I used this design. Changed across all the instances where I use this particular font style, and the size has increased. Now what this means is, using font styles, whenever I want to make changes, I don't have to go back to make changes to each of the places where I used this font style. All I can do is just go over here to my font style and make the change, and it will update automatically. So let's say I change the font size back to 32 just like we had, and then I click enter to save. You can see the font size has automatically changed back to the way it was in the size that we have imputed it for. So this is how text sizes and weights instantly create structure in your design. You can see here we didn't use any color in this design. We just stuck to black and white monochrome colors, but because of the kind of text that we used, using clean typography and proper contrast, we were able to achieve a really clean design. Now that is the power of typography. I intentionally did not use any color in this design because I wanted you to see how just having the right fonts can instantly level up your design game. So that is what you should keep in mind whenever you're designing, that having a good font or good typography and a good combination between these typography or these fonts can instantly make your design look balanced and more professional. And that's how you can use typography to make your design look clean and professional. I hope you learned something. Anyways, in the next video, I will show you how you can use colors, pick out colors and create your color palette, and even create your very first mini design system. Don't forget to like this video so it could be helpful to others as well. Comment your favorite fonts in the comment section. We might use it in our next designs. And also subscribe if you are new here, and I'll see you in the next video.